Hey everyone, welcome to another Basement Talk with Annie and Dave. We're both back in our respective basements. I am wearing my University of Memphis sweatshirt. People make fun of me for wearing this in all my Zooms, but I have 4 of them. So I'm not wearing the same sweatshirt every day. And we're delighted to have you all here for another Basement Talk. How are you doing, Annie?
Good, I'm doing great. I'm still sheltering in place and exploring my community and trying to do all those great things that we've talked about in other basement talks. So yeah, I'm doing great. And today, I think we're going to be talking about, what are we talking about today, Dave?
We're going to talk about gold stars and rewards today.
That's right. And so gold stars and rewards. So if you want to find out more of our basement talks, please find us on YouTube where you find this one. You can find our website at learningvibespodcast.weebly.com. We have an email address, which is the same, learningvibespodcast@gmail.com. And we have a podcast that you can check out. It comes out on the first of every month. And so please check it out. But Dave and I have been really enjoying doing these basement talks during the time of COVID-19. And so Dave's going to take it away with gold stars today.
Yeah, one thing I think a lot about, Annie, is why do we do what we do? And a lot of us were raised in cultures where the goal was to please others. We wanted our parents to be proud of us and do things that reflected well on them and where they thought well of us. We wanted our teachers to be proud of us. And I've even heard people say when they talk about their favorite teacher, I never wanted to let Mrs. Jones down, right? And we do all these things in the name of getting props from others, getting the reward, getting the trophy, getting the grade. And I would just like to encourage you in a time of COVID-19 where you probably do have cabin fever, you're with your own thoughts a lot. How can you take some steps toward not doing what you do for that gold star, but doing what you do in a way that enhances your own learning, your own creativity, your own thought, and your own passions and sense of self? And Annie, one of the places where I think about this a lot is when it comes to grades. And anybody who has listened to episodes of our podcasts or who knows me know that I sometimes struggle to even say the G word out loud because I find it so repulsive as a concept and a word. And I got to tell you, when my kids were smaller, by the way, there's some research, it's a little bit old, but it shows that particularly in larger cities, there is a correlation between family violence and report card night.
Oh, yes.
Now,
Yes.
now think about that for a minute. Now, we can't say causation, but
No.
that on the day report cards come home, family violence goes up. And I think it connects to this idea of gold stars and working for others. And, when my kids were younger, Annie, report card night in our house was a unique situation. My kids always knew when they were in elementary school that they should feel obligated to tell us, we got our report cards today. And I would always say, go get them. Go get them, bring them. And my kids would come back with their report cards. And I would say to them, now, before we talk about the report card any further, I've got a couple of questions for you. Question number 1, are you trying to be a good person at school?
Yes.
Are you trying to be a good human being? Oh, yeah, Dad, I'm trying to be a good. Tell me about that. Tell me a story of something you've done recently where you feel like you were a good human being. And we would talk about that. Then, second question, are you learning? Are you learning? Oh, yeah, Dad, I'm learning. Great. Tell me something you've learned in the last week that moves you intellectually, that moves you emotionally, that moves you spiritually. Tell me about your learning. And they would. And I would say, well, then that gets me to my third question. Are you doing your best? Are you doing your best? Oh, yeah, yeah, Dad, I'm doing my good. Tell me about that. Well, Dad, you saw me doing the math homework last week, and then you saw
Right.
me crying over the spelling words or the, yeah, okay, that's doing your best. So, Emma and Sarah, I have two more questions. The first one is, are you having a damn good time? And they would always giggle as
Right.
8-year-olds, right? Yeah, Dad, we're having a great time. And then my final question, do you want me to look at your report card? And usually the answer was yes. Yeah, I do. So I would open it up and I would always start by dwelling on the A's. And you know what? If there were 5 A's and a C, I didn't dare even mention that C. How cruel do you have to be to immediately focus on the negative? But I got to tell you, one year when my oldest daughter, Emma, was in about 6th grade, and I asked that last question, do you want me to look at your report card?
Did she
She
say
said,
no?
she said, No, not particularly. And I must admit that I had a brief wave of panic go through my body, right? And I couldn't resist any shame on me. But later that night, I said to my wife, did you see Emma's report card? And she said, yeah, I saw Emma's report. What's she not telling me? Oh, it was great. It was like 5 A's and 2 B's. And I thought, my kid gets it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yes.
It's not about working to please her bat crap crazy old man. It's not about working to get some kudos from a teacher. It's about working toward being a good human being, doing your best, aiming everything for learning, and having a really good time doing it.